All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy weekend to everyone. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. So back to let you know, as usual, what's happening with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And the boys have left the Polokwane camp and they've now started heading back to Nigeria. So we expect them to arrive today's evening uh, and then, try to settle in before thinking about training session, probably starting from tomorrow. And the big one is on Tuesday, Nigeria versus Benin Republic, which will be the final. It's obviously going to be grand finale where the Super Eagles will have to make everything right. Everything that's gone wrong, everything that had been going wrong in previous games, games that uh, we could have won, that we fumbled, all of those different underperformances. That day is going to be the day that they can redeem themselves, and uh, it's going to be interesting and very difficult because it's against a former Super Eagles head coach who obviously knows a lot about the country. He knows a lot about the players, so it's going to be very difficult. But on the other side as well, it's the same thing from General Ross' side. He has been talking, after he got that famous victory in the last game against Rwanda. He has been talking about how difficult it's going to be to play Nigeria, how it's going to be tough to play the Osimhen, Lukman. It will be, unfortunately, Lukman will not be available for that match. Let me just add that one because obviously we saw him get a yellow card for a very, you know, uh, reckless reaction with the Lesotho player. It was very uncalled for. Lukman didn't need to attack the player the way that he did. I think he was even lucky not to have uh, gotten a red card for that one. But I mean, whether he whether he could have got a red card or yellow, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all the same thing. It's been suspended right now for one match. Uh, but again, it doesn't take away the fact that the Super Eagles is still going to be a very strong side for Jonathan Rohr. And for me personally, I think it's even going to present Coach Eric Shaw and the team with a very good opportunity, for Chukwueze to fill in that right wing flank, the seven position, and excite us with his dribblings, with his crosses, with his forward plays, and all that stuff. Because I mean, a lot of you would agree with me. We've not been seeing Chukwueze play a lot of matches or a lot of minutes in the Super Eagles uh, setup, and it's really affected the team. It has affected the way we play. Coach Eric Shell always seemed to favor Lukman and Moses Simon. And I mean, he would usually play Lukman, either of Lukman or Simon, in the seventh position, and it almost does not work. We saw that in the last game, yesterday's game. It didn't work, but Moses Simon was playing that seven. He didn't bring even one crossing into the uh, 18-yard box of the opponent. He couldn't dribble very much because that's not his natural position. He would usually operate better from the 11 position, but unfortunately, that's also the place that Lukman can operate very well. So their two are almost useless when they are playing seven. So the natural person to fit in that position is obviously Chukwueze. He has played some of his best football for Nigeria, and his club Villarreal, AC Milan, even more recently Fulham. So I think it's going to be a good opportunity, for Chukwueze to create a lot of dangerous opportunities for us on that day. And it's going to be needed because obviously to qualify, we need goals in that match. We need at least two goals difference, two goal space. We need to win them by two-goal margin. I'm seeing Super Sport actually posted something. They said that we needed three goals to qualify, more than three goals, but I don't think that's correct. I think what we need is two goals. You know, we need two goals margin. Benin Republic obviously defeated us in the first leg of the qualifiers. That was back in June. I think Coach Finidi was the man in charge during that period, and we uh, shockingly lost that game 2 goals to 1 at the home of Benin Republic side. So this is the away game or away leg, and we have to beat them by maybe 3-1, 2-0. That should be enough, obviously, because when we beat them and South Africa drop points against Rwanda, then that means you know stuff like head to head will be considered among these two teams. So that's basically what's happening right now. But I'm just going to give you some of the reactions that have come out from the coaches from yesterday's game. Of course, Coach Eric Shaw, said quite a number of things after the game. Of course, lots of pressure questions from journalists and and the media. So Coach Eric Shaw basically said that, yeah, I mean, we are alive. He's happy that the boys got the victory. But as far as the qualification, the permutation and mathematics and all of that, the journalists can actually do that for themselves, because he doesn't know right now, that we can do it for him at this point. But he's very optimistic about this last game, and he knows that for sure the Super Eagles needs to score a certain amount of goals to qualify, against Benin Republic, and then hope that South Africa lose points against Rwanda. But let me just read out what he told journalists after that game. He said that we feel the pressure every time we come to camp, but this win keeps us alive. And of course, playing against Benin Republic, we know that we have to score a certain amount of goals and have certain mindset that we need to go in for. They want to be winners. We want to be at the World Cup. So that's basically what Coach Eric Shaw has said. And for Coach General Rohr, um, he also said quite a number of things. First, he mentioned after the very impressive defeats from yesterday's game, he said that when he when he told his boys, or when his boys heard about what the South African coach said, that's Hugo Bruce, when what he said about Benin Republic not being able, or that they will never be able to beat Nigeria and beat Rwanda to qualify. We talked about that on the channel. I let you guys know about it. He said when his boys heard this, they were angered, they were very upset, and they were like, "Why would this? Why would he say something like that? He's looking down on us." So they were angered by that statement from the South African coach, and they wanted to prove themselves. They wanted to show that they can win any team, whether it's be Nigeria or Rwanda or South Africa, any team basically that is in front of them. They wanted to show that they can win. So that was the mentality that they brought into the match against Rwanda, and I mean it paid off, courtesy of a late goal from a Lagosian actually, who plays for Benin Republic, to get that victory for them. But aside from that, General also said this, about the game coming up on Tuesday. He said, we lost two players. We have lost two players for the match against Nigeria as a result of a second yellow card, but all is possible for the three teams, South Africa, Benin Republic, and Nigeria. We now have the decision to win in Uyo in our hands. This can be a little advantage, but we will see. We will see. Big suspense until the end. So that's some of the things that he said. And obviously, he knows how big of a task this is for his team and for him as a coach, you know. But he has now told us that he's going to miss two important players due to yellow card. And I mean, for us, we also going to miss Ademola and Lukman. But I mean, at the end of the day, nobody is going to want to listen to any excuses coming from either side. The fans will not want to listen to excuses. They want, top performance. They want results. The players themselves, they know that they cannot, let uh, any excuses come into the way or come into the picture, because they also want to be at the World Cup, from both sides. But I mean, we'll see what happens. General is a very experienced coach. He knows how to get results. I've always said it is one of the best coaches that we've had, coach the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and the record shows it. The things that he did, with the club, he didn't win the AFCON, but he took the third position, qualified us to the World Cup. So he's done a couple of things with the Super Eagles, and I think he's even the longest serving coach of the Super Eagles. When he got the job, or when he was at the helm. But again, we'll see what happens that day. I just wanted to give you some reaction from the South African coach after that very crushing draw against Zimbabwe last night. Of course, he came into the game, he and his boys, hoping to win that match and put one foot in front, in terms of picking up the ticket. But the unfortunate happened to them. And after that game, he said, now it's no longer in our hands. It becomes even more difficult now, but it's not 100% lost. We might also need a miracle. It's a sad night for us. So that's basically what he said. And he also, mentioned a few things that they were not lucky last night, that they were, the better side. They had a couple of chances. They hit the post, and a few other things as well that he talked about. But he said, at the end of the day, these kinds of big games, you need to play well, but you also need luck to able to get results in this game. And that's one thing that he felt that they didn't have. He felt that they didn't have luck at the end of the day. But he's still in the picture. South Africa is in the picture. In fact, the road might even be easier for them. But I mean, Rwanda is a strong side. But if you look at it, if they get a victory against Rwanda in last game, then they'll obviously top both General Rohr and Eric Shell at the end of the day. Whether General Rohr wins or Super Eagles wins, so they're still in a very good position to steal the ticket. But it's no longer in their hands. It's now in the hands of General Rohr, who uh, has just one responsibility: win your game against Nigeria and then qualify. But obviously, it's going to be difficult, and probably the biggest match he's ever had to play in his coaching career. But as the guys, more stories will be coming as soon as Bygos land in camp, and then they get into the thick of things, trainings, and all of that. We'll get to hear more about what's happening with the boys.